Have you ever looked at someone who's just consistently successful, not just at work, but in life, and wondered what's their secret? Is it just luck? Pure talent? Well, according to Stephen Covey, the real answer is way more powerful. And thankfully, it's something we can all control. Let's dive into his incredible framework.
You see, the secret isn't some big one-time event. It's the system you build for yourself. It's all about those small, consistent habits that literally shape how you see the world and how you act in it. It's about building success from the inside out.
And this quote? This is the heart of the entire thing. Covey basically argues that real, lasting success isn't about learning clever tricks to get what you want from other people. No, it's about mastering yourself first. Real change always starts with your character and your habits.
So, before we even jump into the 7 habits, we have to get this foundational idea down. This isn't a list of life hacks or quick fixes. It's about building character. It's about who you are deep down, not just the things you do.
This is what Covey calls the inside-out approach, and it makes so much sense when you think about it. You can't possibly build strong, effective relationships with others if you haven't done the work on yourself first. These private victories, like self-discipline, having integrity, taking responsibility, they have to come before the public victories, like great teamwork and collaboration.
All right, so that brings us to the very first stage of growth, what he calls the private victory. These first 3 habits are all about moving from being dependent to being independent. It's all about taking control of your own life.
The first habit is maybe the most fundamental of all. Be proactive. This is the simple yet kind of radical idea that you are the one in charge. You're the architect of your own life. It means taking complete and total responsibility for your actions and, yep, for their outcomes. You are in the driver's seat. And just look at the difference here. Reactive people, they're always driven by things outside of themselves. Their feelings, the situation, what other people are doing. They blame everything and everyone. But proactive people, they're driven by their values. They don't waste time and energy complaining. They put all their focus on what they can actually control, and then they take action. Okay, so once you've taken charge, the very next step is knowing where you're going. Habit 2 is all about having a crystal clear vision for your life. It's about defining your personal mission, what you value, and what your ultimate goals are before you even start a new project or, really, before you even start your day.
I mean, think about it like this, right? If you just get in a car and start driving with no destination plugged into the GPS, you can be super busy, you can drive for hours and make a lot of progress, but you're going to end up, well, nowhere important. This habit makes sure that every single thing you do is actually moving you in the right direction, a direction that you picked.
All right, you're in charge, you know your destination. Now what? Habit 3 is where the rubber meets the road. It's all about execution. It's the discipline to organize everything you do around your real priorities, focusing on what's truly important, not just on what feels urgent.
And this really shows the huge difference. Most of us, if we're honest, get totally stuck in shallow work. You know, the busy work. It feels productive, but it doesn't actually move the needle. Habit 3 is about consciously making time for the deep work, the stuff that actually matters and lines up with your vision. And yeah, that means getting really good at saying no to the urgent but unimportant stuff.
So, once you've nailed that private victory of self-mastery, then and only then are you ready for what Covey calls the public victory. This is where you make the big shift from independence to interdependence. This is where you learn to build truly effective relationships with other people. Habit 4 just completely challenges the idea that life has to be this big competition. It's a mindset that's always looking for mutual benefit in every single human interaction. So instead of thinking, I win, you lose, it's about finding that third option where everybody comes out ahead. It's based on this awesome belief that there's plenty of success to go around for everyone.
Oh man, this might be one of the single most powerful communication principles of all time. Before we jump in to give advice or try to solve the problem or even just make our own point, we have to make a deep, genuine effort to truly understand the other person's perspective first.
Because let's be real, most of us don't really listen. We listen with the intent to reply. We're just sitting there formulating our brilliant response while the other person is still talking. But effective people, they do the exact opposite. They practice what's called empathetic listening. They really try to see the world through the other person's eyes. And when you do that, it builds an insane amount of trust and opens the door to real solutions.
So habit 6 is where the magic really happens. It's the result of all the other habits working together.
It's the principle of creative cooperation. It's about actually valuing differences in people, different perspectives, different strengths, different ideas, and using them to create something way better than what any one person could do on their own.
This is the core of synergy. It's that creative spark that happens when people are genuinely working together. When you combine that win-win thinking with empathetic listening, you create this amazing environment where 1 + 1 doesn't just equal 2, it equals 3, or 10, or even 100.
Okay, so we've covered mastering yourself and collaborating with others. But how in the world do you keep all of this going for the long haul? Well, that brings us to the final and absolutely crucial habit. This one is like the engine that powers all the others.
Covey tells this great story about a woodcutter who's just working frantically to saw down a tree. But he's so busy sawing, he says he doesn't have time to stop and sharpen his saw. Of course, his saw just gets duller and duller, and he becomes less and less effective. Habit 7 is the habit of self-renewal. It's about taking the time to invest in yourself so you can keep performing at your best.
And this isn't just about getting more sleep. This renewal has to be balanced across 4 key areas of your life. Your physical health, exercise, nutrition. Your mental growth, reading, learning new things. Your emotional health, by nurturing your relationships. And your spiritual core, by connecting with your deepest values and purpose.
And this idea connects perfectly with what we know about modern habit science. Like James Clear says, your habits are like compound interest. That small, consistent act of sharpening the saw every day, reading for 15 minutes, going for a walk, calling a friend, it might not seem like much in the moment, but over months and years, believe me, it produces extraordinary results. So, after all of that, what's the big idea? What's the main takeaway here? Well, it all circles back to where we started, to your very first proactive step.
The most powerful message in this whole book is that real, lasting success is never about finding shortcuts. It's a direct result of your character. By intentionally building these strong habits, you are, piece by piece, building a strong character. And in the end, that character is what determines the quality of your life.
So I'll leave you with this final thought, which is really a call to action from Habit 1. Just for a moment, forget about all the things you can't influence. Forget about what other people are doing. Just look at your own life and ask yourself this. What is one small, proactive choice that I can make today that is 100% within my control? Because that, right there, that is where it all begins.